What's up, yo? Can you hear me? Alright, cool. How you doing, yo? Good, good. What you over there playing Tekken right now? Playing some matches? No doubt, no doubt. I'm just getting everything all set up still, so. Just share the link. Get everything settled. Yeah, I found, I finally got into, I just beat the dancer. So I'm in, the castle part of the high wall. And I'm grinding out the big chunks so I could get a +10 weapon. So. Where'd you find? Oh, okay, I know what you're talking about. That's what's up. Yeah, I've been farming out this cause every single monster, well, every single knight in this castle has a 100% drop rate, and I've just been getting them to drop the chunks every once in a while. Yeah. I went that way first, and I got lost a lot, but I got a whole bunch of the campfires and everything, but I wasn't really fight. Like, I just did the Abyss Watchers too, but I had passed them originally. So, and then I was like, well, I know there's this boss over here that I have to do, so I went and did it, and I just stayed here. Um, but she at first it was really hard, but if you give her enough time and you use them iframes, baby, eventually you'll win. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, no doubt. Changed a little bit. Okay. Well, I wanted to give somebody else, like, see if anybody else wanted to hop in, but honestly, it's seeming like it's just me and you. So whenever you want to start talking about it, just let me know. We can hop right in. Yep. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, did you now? Oh shit, you got everything. Okay. I definitely, I think you might be surprised of the things I'm about to say, especially given the conversations we've had. Oh shit. Yeah, I'm gonna put it, I'm sorry, I don't mean to cut you off. I'm gonna put a thing, don't even worry about spoilers. I'm gonna put a thing, don't even click on this if you haven't played through, so don't even worry about it. Right. Yeah. the weight loss was crazy. Yeah. Mhm. Excuse me. Sorry. Yeah. Yeah. Mhm. Mhm. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, he was fucking. He was a piece of shit at the end. Oh my fucking god. Yo, if I could just say something real quick, 'cause this made me mad. When he comes back and he's like, "Hey, um, you know, I'm me and my wife we're separated now. We're taking time from each other, but I found Abby, right? That whole thing was he was a completely different character from who we had when he was at the beginning of the game, when he was doing the whole sniping deal, all of that. Because if you remember, when they originally planned to go get Abby, he leaves Ellie there. He doesn't want her to follow along. So that whole thing where he's like pushing her to go and shit, I'm like, where's this even coming from? That right there, I'm willing to tell you right now, straight up, it was convenient writing, it was bad writing, it was something to make Ellie uh, give her a call to action. You know what I'm saying? I didn't like that part. I didn't like that part. I didn't like what they did with Tommy with that. That whole thing just felt bitter as fuck, and it didn't make any sense. Yeah. Yep. Yeah. What's up, Keenan? Yeah. Uh huh. She had the same name. Yara. It was the same as the Game of Thrones chick. Yep. Yeah. Yep. Thank you. Yeah. Okay. Okay. You want revenge? Um, did you want so um that's all great, by the way. Um, did you want? Did you want choices, or did you want straight up? Did you feel like it should have straight up been a revenge story, and you should have been the one finishing her off and like? Yeah. The game is at its best with the character moments. I feel like it really does well to make you care about their play. As far as that definitely goes. Some of my favorite scenes definitely involve, like, you know, Joel and Ellie and the flashbacks. Like, whenever I got a flashback with Joel and Ellie, I was with it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Yeah. Mhm. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Um. Yeah. Yeah. Mhm. Well, okay. So let me ask you a question. I want to answer the question that you asked first of all, um, which is why people are so attached to Joel. Do you think the intro of the original game, the fact that you get to see this man lose his daughter, hold her in her arms as she dies, you know, that scene? I remember when that game first came out, and people were like, I cried, and I'm like, you know, it was an emotional scene for sure. Um, you know, just that alone, I think, like, yeah, I remember Will Smith with the last, or not the Last of Us, with what was the movie he had? I Am Legend. It was the same deal. That had people bawling like a baby when the dog died, yo. And it was like, it wasn't even really the dog, it was Will Smith's face that had people like, yo, like, he cares about that dog, you know? So people like sort of kind of put themselves there and really really felt that scene, man. So yeah. Yeah. It was definitely. So, okay, let me ask you a question, because a lot of the complaints that people get, what this is going to be is we're going to give our thoughts. We're going to talk about the game a little bit, what we liked, what we would have changed, and then what I want to do is I want to tell you what I think everybody's mad about, like my summation of it, what I've gathered from it, and then we can say if we agree based on with what we played, if we agree or not, if we think that that's valid criticism. And then we can even, like, you start talking about what you think there's gonna be a third game. You can start theory crafting that up too, because I also think that there's gonna be a third game, but I'm not sure if it's gonna be anyone we recognize. And but I have a reason. I have a reason. This motherfucker wants my ass, yo. Hold on, just a second. I'm sorry. Fighting a toughie. Yeah, she gets. If you need help, I can come over. Let me know. Okay. Okay, no problem. Now, as far as like the outrage, right? What I've gathered from it. So, I don't know if you're familiar with how familiar you are with like journalism, game journalism, all that, but there's been this ongoing thing for years now that there's been like this ripple effect that all stem from this one event that happened years and years ago, and it involved different male and female journalists, and this person sleeping with this person, and they're cliquey, and basically what ended up happening was an article was released. Basically, it was like a hit piece on gaming culture, and it's a lot. It's a lot. There's like, you could write a book on this shit. But one of the famous figures from that was this female. Her name was Anita Sarkeesian. Now, Anita Sarkeesian is for all you really. I think so. Yes, she's this feminist. She's a feminist, which we call it. She's like, there's this meme, and it's like, see, this is what I'm talking about. This is the male fantasy or something, and then people throw on the bottom part. It'll be like, that's her. That's her. She's a feminist. She's got, whether you like her or not, she's got some opinions about gamers and all that. Anyway, her and Neil Druckmann hooked up, like, not hooked up, but they sort of kind of got together, put their minds together, and for this game. And people, as soon as people saw that she sort of kind of had influence on Druckmann, they immediately were like, oh fucking shit, here we go. Now, some people were saying, don't worry about it. Like, she's gonna have no influence on him whatsoever. Having seen the game and having played the original, I think personally that she did have influence on him, but not nearly to the degree that people were saying. If you ask me personally what I think of Anita Sarkeesian, I'm just like, listen, people will give attention to what they want to give attention to. Like, if she's really that bad, y'all will stop giving her attention, and Anita Sarkeesian will fucking disappear. That's where I've always stood. And
farewell, Ashes.
Anyway, when the leaks started hitting with The Last of Us, the first thing people saw, they actually originally believed that Abby was a transvestite. Okay, so they saw that, and they immediately were like, and then they saw that Joel is killed by her, and they're like, what the fuck did they let this woman do to our game? When the original leaks came out, they were like, I'd say 60-70% accurate to what we got from the final game. And it gave people... She did kind of disappear though. Sorry, I'm reading a comment. People saw that and they immediately thought the worst. You know what I'm saying? I remember it was like 3 or 4 months before the game even had like gotten delayed, and people were like, "Yo, this game's gonna be a fucking disaster." So then the game comes out, and like the fact that Joel died so early in the game, even people who gave it a chance but knew about the leaks, I think they were immediately turned off. Do I think, and of course there's a lot more to go into it, but that's all we really need to go into to really get to this point here. Do I feel like they had a point? here's the thing. When I first saw all the outrage, what had frustrated me was that there were so many things that I felt like weren't really up to the fan to decide whether it was good or bad, and I felt like there was a lot of dishonest arguments. There were people saying like, "Oh, you've got to kill dogs in this game, and it's a horrible game because of it." There were people saying, this game is so woke and all this stuff. I will say one thing. The illusion of choice that they give you, and then the fact that they don't give you any choice at all, I can kind of see how that pissed somebody off. For example, I guess this isn't really the illusion of choice, but I really question why you would even have us play as the person that's going to do such this terrible act, and sort of kind of seems like they're trying to get you to feel bad for her right from the jump. I mean, you get this chick, she's in a snowstorm, she's got her boyfriend slash whatever the fuck he is, they're arguing, she's about to die, Joel comes in and saves her and all that, oh cool, and then she kills him. It's like, what? There's some crazy whiplash cognitive dissonance there. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you're trying to gather up that sympathy, I don't know. I almost feel like that could have been done away with, having you play as her at the beginning. What do you think about that? Yep. Okay. Yeah. You know what? You know what might have been better? And I'm just throw this in real quick. If you would have had like, if you knew, nah, because people would have known. But if you like, what I was gonna say was, if you had Ellie, that shot of her opening up the door and seeing Joel get beat, but you don't see exactly who's doing it yet, and you're playing as Abby, and eventually you find out that it's her. You know what I'm saying? Something like that, and then maybe make like a boss fight there instead. Because even like that whole situation where Abby came in after Ellie had killed all her friends at that point, and killed what I forget his name. They did him so dirty, but the kid's father, Jesse, they killed him hella quick. Yeah, I liked him, but the way they handled him, I don't know. It seemed like he was like, they're like, well, what do we do about him? Yo, let's just fucking shoot him. Yeah, with the quickness, and honestly, nobody really even talks about him ever again. I don't know, man. For such a character-driven story, for such a story that really wants you to care about these characters, you don't even care about these characters. I mean, the characters, I'm serious. I really, like, please tell me if I'm wrong. Was there any mention of Jesse after he died? That was there any acknowledgement? For real? Because people were... Yeah, like that... JJ. Yep. Yep. Oh shit. Yeah. Yeah. He was very likable. He was a bro. Yeah. Yeah. I feel like, I don't know, man. What they wanted to drive home, like, again, they wanted to hit a few beats here. They wanted to create a story where you care about the characters and they are taken from you. They wanted to create a revenge tale that mirrored fucking Kill Bill. Yo, this game and Kill Bill have a lot in common. But it seemed like they wanted to make you feel conflicted during the story. Like, I'd even argue the segment with Ellie and the kid, like, it was nice, but other than the call of action from Tommy coming and being like, yo, I know where she is. I really don't know why that shit was there. Well, then again, nah, I can't really say that honestly, because it's showing that she cares about, like, it's showing that she still is thinking about Joel and all that. But I don't know, it just, even that part, I was like, I wanted to get back into the action. You know what this game really needs to do better with? The way it paces things. Every single time we were thrown into action, it felt like it was it felt like it felt like a Naruto flashback. Like it was like you were seeing that damn swing again. I don't know if you've seen Naruto, but towards the end, it does the same thing where every single like intense, crazy time, like a flashback happens, and you see this one part, and it's like, yo, again. Um, yeah, I think a lot of media today has like a big problem with like flashbacks and how they want to tell a story. It never really seems to flow right for me. Um, but you know, that really didn't feel right to me. I originally, I tell you, I didn't really like the character switch. I kind of switched places on it a few times, but all in all, I do, because what you got with Abby was basically a mirror of one, but you had two female protagonists this time instead of a sort of kind of a father daughter relationship. She basically was Joel from part one, with like, yeah, you know what I'm saying? That parallel was definitely there, and if you think of it that way, I don't know. It's just like a lot of this shit. Okay, you know what? Instead of dancing around shit, I'm gonna tell you exactly what I ain't like about this game. This game felt so fucking manipulative with how it wanted you to care about things. Let me give you an example. The part where you're playing as Ellie, and I think you done killed Nora off at this point. You're just about to kill um, the pregnant lady and the boyfriend, and run into the dog, right? And that whole time, like, you can't leave that room. I've tried. You can't leave it. You can't. You have to kill that dog, right? And then right after that, you a little bit later, you switch to Abby's part, and the first thing you fucking do is you play fetch with that damn dog. And that they know what they were doing, man. They wanted you to feel like shit there, and I am absolutely fine with certain games making you feel like shit. Like Spec Ops: The Line, the twist of Spec Ops: The Line is one of the finest twists in games. You know what I'm saying? And it relies on you, like just the fact that you're fucking crazy. You know what I'm saying? It relies on you playing the game and pulling the trigger and feeling like shit after finding all this shit out. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not gonna sit here and act like, me being emotionally manipulated hasn't happened in a video game before, but this here, it just felt so fucking dishonest. Again, you want me to care about Abby, but you also want me to sort of kind of care about Joel, you want me to care about all that, like, I don't know, and these people didn't even need to have a conflict, to be real with you. I'm gonna be real with you, man. What was it? 3 or 4 years passed between the first game and the second game. I kind of find it hard to believe that anybody would even give a fuck about Joel at that point. Like, I don't know. There's just so much shit going on. You got the whole conflict between the wolves and the Seraphites at that point. How the fuck, yo? Here's a question. Isaac was ready to kill all them motherfuckers when they was gone for too long or whatever the case may be, right? How the fuck did they even get away to go all the way to where Joel was at for that long? Because you gotta imagine, they probably took, but at the least a week and a half to get there and back. Okay. Yeah. Oh, Nora? Yo, she got did dirty. I don't look away, or I don't really get like, not squeamish, but like I don't really get like antsy with violent scenes or anything. That scene right there, I'm like, yo, she beating her ass. She had the veins popping out and everything after she had left the spore area and everything. Yo, this game is fucking. Yo, this game, the way this game handles violence, bro. This game be like, alright, yo, hi kids, you like violence? Cause like, son. Yeah. Yeah, it was absolutely the point. Shit. Yeah. Yeah. Fair enough. Uh-huh. Yes, sir. Yo, here's the thing. I never found anything wrong with the formula, but you make a good point. I mean, battle royales are hot right now. Um, yeah, the online, the island is gonna be nice. Yeah. Yo, I gotta say, man, because I'm gonna give it a review score at the end too. I guess this kind of is a review too. I'm gonna have to take points off because I talked to a few people. I was in the Last of Us group, and I went ahead and checked. I was like, yo, Last of Us had factions at launch, and people were like, yeah, but some people said no. But I remember it being there at launch. So with that considered, my final review, I'm gonna have to take some points off, man. I don't understand. Even if you, yo, people like me, and I know other people like me exist, who just wanted something. Even if you copied and pasted the last thing in, like, you know what I'm saying, for just for the online. Like, it really didn't need to have any new bells and whistles. Like, it was, I loved the online, brother. And I was very disappointed, excuse me, when we got the news that yo, you're still on that boss? Yo, I'm gonna come over there. I'm right at the whatchamacallit. You gotta tell me how to you gotta tell me how to do a co-op, because I haven't done it in this game unless it's just like Bloodborne, and I'll be right over. I'm in the next area after it, so. Um, yeah, I mean, I really was, online is one, yo, I played online, The Last of Us got playtime on my PlayStation 3 for another year to that online. That's how good it was. I had every single thing that I could unlock unlocked. I had a faction that had all its people, and I don't know, it was just very fun to me. Um, yeah. And if you remember, factions, you kind of needed a mic for that. You really needed a mic for that, because if the other team, like, they stayed together and they got your flank, it was over. So you really wanted to be talking to your guys. I really liked faction. Oops. Um, but while you're fighting that boss, let me just go ahead and fire off some more quick thoughts. Um, I really enjoyed the weapon loadouts this time around. I the as far as like some anti-frustration features, I don't think enemies dropped ammo or anything in the first one. So as far as that, like some people would argue that it hurts the survival horror, and I definitely get it. But I think they struck a good balance where like most enemies were only dropping like one or two if they did drop anything. So I really enjoyed that. I like having Ellie's knife, but having it taken away really hurt. Because I thought the shiv system had just been done away with, and then it was like, no, hey, how you doing? So, I mean, but it's a fair system completely, and once you get the upgrades, like you'll never run out of shivs either. It's just, when you first make that character switch, you'll go for a clicker, and you're like, wait, why can't I take him out real quick? So. Mhm. Did you what was one of the new? I think the only the new zombie was the yeah, that guy was pretty cool. That was a cool fight. I enjoyed it. It was very intense. You couldn't really, I've noticed. Okay, forgive me, Raffy, because I jump around a lot. But I've noticed that like, as far as video games go, like, maybe it's just the games I'm playing lately, but like boss fights, right? There's definitely a loop to like how any given boss fight will go, right? And it seems like, and a lot of times like when you are how do I say this right? When you are under pressure, you will have a chance to fall back, whatever the given game may be, and heal or whatever. Yo, lately these bosses have been fucking on your ass, yo. Like, yo, I really, what I'm trying to say is, I guess AI really seems like it's getting good as far as being able to put pressure on a player. So, um, yeah, Ellie was, yeah, absolutely. Yeah. They'll learn on you. They'll learn on you quick, man. I think they can even catch you reloading. Like, they can hear you reloading some of them. So, um, I really liked, speaking of boss fights, that boss fight against Ellie, I really enjoyed it. And I sat there and I questioned why, because I'm like, yo, all I'm really doing is fighting like a teenage girl. But what it does, right? If you watch her while she's using the mechanics that you use as her against you, I love that shit. I love that shit. They do it a little bit in Neo too. You end up fighting somebody from the first one. No spoilers, but and it's the same thing. Like, he has your move set. Basically, he just uses it better. Um, I've always liked that concept, and I actually do it a lot in Dark Souls. Yeah. Yes. Yes. Yeah. Because they move faster. They do weirder shit. Big guys? Yeah. Big guys, they'll whiff. Yeah. Yep. Yeah? I've been diving into Dark Souls, Demon Souls, and Bloodborne lore. I've just been checking it out on YouTube and whatever. And I'm gonna wait for Demon Souls to come out on the PS5, and I'm gonna probably cop that bad boy launch day, because I'm really enjoying these types of games. And if it's the same type of game, like where you can stat out your character and everything, that's awesome. So. Yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna definitely try that out. Let me know when you die again so I could go over there. Alright, so then I'm gonna go back to my bonfire right now. What level are you? Oh, yeah, he's probably hitting you for most of your bar. Yeah. She hits fucking hard. Um, and then once she goes to stage 2, she starts getting really AoE. Like, you can't even really space her out. But let's see, what else? Let's go down things I liked and things I didn't like. I really liked, all the open environments. It seemed like they okay, alright, I'm headed your way in just a moment. I'm gonna go cash in this one level up right quick, and then I'm gonna be alright over. You're gonna have to walk me through how to do that. How to. Okay, so I'm gonna Google it real quick, but I believe you at least need something to summon me with. If so, the old lady, I believe she sells it.
Welcome, hosts. Very well, then Tekken.
Let's see.
Farewell, Ashes.
Some of the things I didn't like. I didn't like, so, I think I had a big problem, sometimes telling where, like, some of the, even though I just praised the areas, sometimes I had trouble navigating some of them. Now, what I do enjoy about what you call it is that if you do get lost and you really need it, there's a hint button. But, like, sometimes some of the areas felt kind of samey to me, and I ended up, like, if you're not really paying attention like what you're picking up and all that, you will get lost. I also didn't like, this game. Okay, so I liked and didn't like the dodge system. The reason why is because if you keep pressing it, let's see, I think I played on normal, I believe, and then I started on hard mode. But as far as I got in hard mode, it was still true that you can get out of a lot of stuff with just spamming that off and then just poking and backing up. Um, so I mean, some may argue go up to a higher difficulty level, but I'd argue that the dodge mechanic needs a little bit more tweaking. Maybe even like a stamina mechanic. I don't know. Maybe that's just because I'm sitting here playing Souls games right now, but it did seem very like exploitable. This is a problem I had in the first one, and it's a problem I kept having in the second one too. It might just be because of how I play, but I got way more certain types of craft items than other things. Like, I was always finding towels and rags and stuff, but like bottles, never could find them. And all that stuff. I feel like the spread out of that stuff is kind of maybe needs more tweaking. Other than that, it really has to do with, I really feel like a lot of times they were trying to manipulate how you felt with certain things, and I personally, I guess maybe I just saw what people felt, but I guess it wasn't really a big thing. Like, a game story, if they want me to do a certain thing, I'm not really like, if you're not giving me that much freedom, I'm not a big, it's not that big of a deal to me. I just know it's a big deal to certain people. Um, and then I really like, more often than not, I didn't like the flashbacks, and where they were put. That's about it. At least for now that I can think of. If I think of anything else, I'll let you know. But so when the white substone, before you do, let's make a password so that you definitely get me. So the way you make a password, so cross region. Okay, if you go into your options menu, and then you go to settings, you go all the way to your fifth option. And that's all your online settings. Yes, all caps or no caps? Okay. Okay. Right on the step before you go in? Alright, I'm just seeing if I already got one. Okay. Banish visiting phantom or return home. This is to invade. Restore the link to other... No, that's not it. What the fuck? Okay. Give me just a second. Because I got bones. What about you, though? What are the things you didn't like?
How?
No. Yeah.
Ashen one.
Yeah. Hey Rafi, let me ask you a question real quick. Was because I can't remember. Was Spider-Man like that? Did they? I feel like they were kind of sort of some of the mechanics you had to figure out on your own. Yeah. Really? Yeah. No, I wasn't trying to make a comparison. I was just saying I think it's a Sony problem. Like the developer, I think they have a problem with because I agree with you, honestly. I agree with you about, like, there's a bunch of mechanics I didn't know about. I didn't know you could do any of that shit. And I know there's a bunch of stuff that I didn't know about because I was sitting there the whole time like, yo, wait. I know there's a few things that I was doing in Last of Us 1, but how do I do it? And, like, since the game was new, I couldn't really... Oh, I'm about to drop that sign right now. I just bought it. I'll put it right on the step, right next to the note. You should see the same note as me. Alright, I left it. Toggle auto lock on. I might take that shit off. Voice chat is allowed. Player name display, character name, online ID. Summon sign is unrestricted. Try leaving and coming back to the High Wall of Lothric. Do you have the bonfire right there? I've never done this before, but I know in whatchamacallit, sometimes you would have to, like, sometimes the matchmake, you would have to reload the area to load the summon sign or whatever. Like, in Bloodborne, it was chimes, and that would make the chime actually resonate. But it's right on the steps, right next to the second note. Yeah, I got invaded like 3 times in a row in the swamp area, but my character hits really hard, so they weren't expecting it. And it's pretty low level, and I'm in the swamp area. I'm like level 60 at that point. So it was like, well, you picked the wrong one today. You went into the boss room? No, it's right in front of it. It's right in front of it. Okay, I'm about to hit Google in a minute. Oh, I'm gonna put it unrestricted and see if that changes. Mine was unrestricted. So, you know what? I'm gonna pick this shit back up. I'm gonna put it back down. Do me a favor, head back to your bonfire, just reload it one more time. And if that doesn't work, we're gonna do a Google. Once you do, you'll be able to bring your weapons up to +9. So, but they hit hard. Yep. Yep. Yeah. Yeah, it reminded me just like of the hospital. I was like, yo, okay, this is just like the hospital. They're telling you like it's time to party. So I think I see you walking in. Do you have a shield? And no, you didn't just go into the room, did you? Okay. Time for sacrifice. I don't even see that. And this is right before Boreal of the Vorp Valley, huh? I have If Only I Had the Pilgrim and Be Wary of Rare and Short Time for. Oh, wait a minute! No, 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 no! Excuse me, excuse me. Yes, turn human, but I'm also an idiot because I need to actually put it. Okay, let me explain to you how I fucked up. I was putting it. You're doing the dancer, right? Oh yeah, you have to eat that ember real quick. I'm gonna put it back down right now. It's right in front of the door, literally like 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold on. Yeah, give it a second. About 4 steps from the whatchamacallit. Alright. Yeah, I mean, yo, as far as like, yo, yeah, like I said, the weapons were fucking like and the situations that they put you in. It's like, yo, you had so many ways to work that out. I discovered how great some of the bombs were with the first the stalker type enemies when they showed up. Like I secured an area. I treated it like it was Metal Gear real quick. I put down a whole bunch of bombs and I just kept picking them out. And hang back. Let me see what I can do with them first, and then yeah, yeah, yeah. Right where you are. Okay. Yeah, 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 yeah. Oh, they reduced my stats a bit. Don't get grabbed. That shit is almost instant death. Yeah, back up, back up. She's coming my way. Alright. Watch yourself, she got 2 swords now. Usually she's at about half, but she doesn't. That's alright. She's looking at you and get some hits in. That's okay, she can do that. Now she wants you. Yeah. I might die, but just keep going. Damn. I didn't expect to get smacked there. I'm gonna set my sign down right outside just in case you die. Oh, you died? Yeah, you can't immediately go in. Spins. Mm-hmm. Yo, does it seem like your character moves slower when you're close to her? Okay, so it's not just me. Yo, I've been selling those. I've just been selling. I didn't realize what they were until like right before I got to Dancer. Well, what? Certain enemies here are gonna really fuck with you. Oh man. Yeah. You already have one. Where'd you get it? Oh, I sold it. Fuck. Fuck. Yeah, there's another thing I can do. I just don't want to go and get it. He's trying to grab me. Oh, I thought he was about to grab me. Now he was trying to grab. There you go. Yo, I be abusing iframes because you do not get those in Bloodborne. It feels like you don't get them. I saw it last minute. When she starts strafing like that, I feel like she's gonna grab you. She's about to spin. Be ready. That dark shit comes out the first time, she's pulling her sword out. Oh, I didn't even know she turned. Yeah. Let her kill me first. Let her kill me first. It's okay. That's why I want her to watch me. Roll through, but you gotta time it just for it. I got her. For some reason, she is not watching me. Oh, there she is. Motherfucker's annoying. Help you out anytime. Ember. If you're about to go through that area, I'll follow you, to be honest with you. Help you poke some boys. I'm not as good. Yo, I be getting my ass kicked this area because they do hit hard here, but I'll tag along. Alright, so I'm going to put my note right above, right where the ladder goes all the way up. Okay. So Okay, so we talked about what we like, talked about what we didn't like. Um, I cannot use it here, man, and I don't know why. Does it? Let me see if I can go to my bonfire, because the bonfire is very close. The personal bonfire for this area. So I'm gonna go there and see if I can place it. Getting jumped by knights. Ooh, okay. Fucker. Just took my whole shit. Sorry. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, definitely was. Definitely was. And it kept people playing. You know what I'm saying? I think that's what really kept the legacy of. I mean, the story, don't get it twisted, was very good in The Last of Us, but the fact that people were still playing it, years after on factions, and by that pathway, playing the story over and over again, you know. But I gotta say, if I can criticize game fans, man, we gotta stop jumping on shit we don't like. We gotta stop doing that shit, man. Cause yeah, I can put it in the Lothric Castle bonfire. So I'm gonna tell you how to get there, and you get there, and you'll be able to summon me. But you have to pass by 3 knights. One of them you can avoid. The other 2, I mean, if you try to run by them, you'll just be right by the room. But you still have to fight. All right. I mean, they all drop chunks, but it's a rare drop. Yep. You go straight, and then there's like a knight that's sitting in front of like a. Wait a minute. Why is there another guy there? There's 2 knights in there, and then there's a whatchamacallit in there. But hold on, because my summon sign just disappeared because I left the area. So go ahead and get your bonfire, and then I'll put my shit down in a minute. Well, I'm getting jumped right now, so don't feel too bad. I had to run. Drop my sign right in front of the room. So when you finally... Yeah, there's like 3 altogether going that way. But they're much easier. Kill the guys first, the guys that heal. And then try to separate them out. Make them into a one-on-one fight. Oh, okay, good shit. Look at you, Mr. Fisticuff Man. Right in front of the steps that goes to the bonfire room. Nothing, huh? I can pick it up and put it back down. I'll try right on top of the steps now. Try that one out. Okay. Yeah, cool, because then I can scout out and see what's actually up here. Because I've just been grinding this area like crazy, man. Yeah. Because it's just... It drops everything you need up to 9. So... How's Tekken been treating you? Yep. Comes up rocket. I forgot to tell you about that. I forget who does it. Yeah, we had a bad experience there. Yeah, I'm about to drop mine off too. Let's see. Well, real quick, let's just talk. So you already kind of sort of gave what you thought about how they set up for a sequel. So real quick before I tell you what I think there's gonna be any DLC or anything else that they add into this to really build upon the story, or are we just gonna see everything? Okay. Alright.
Welcome, host. Very well, then taken up.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, it'd be pretty fucking crazy. For real. Mhm. Okay. No doubt.
Farewell, Ashen One.
That'd be pretty dope, actually. I could see that happening. Especially I'd like to see clickers and all that be enter into a match. It's sort of kind of, yeah. And even maybe a mechanic where you come back as a clicker or something. Maybe a revenge mechanic. Revenge mechanics kind of sort of, they can be abused. So, sort of kind of. Yeah, you're gonna have to tweak it out a bit. Like, make the zombies super fucking durable. And even then, I mean, yeah. Yeah. It's gonna be rough for somebody. So, yeah. It's coming. It's coming. Well, here's the thing, man. I'm cut you off. I'm sorry. It lines up like all the other times before when people were like Yakuza, like the real problem that I could have said, that the real one that I could have been like, yo, this is like, I'm dying on this hill, was the fact that nothing was really coming out. Like, if you want to release, like, if you release a character, I can't really see people like making a guest character for a remaster or any of that. You know what I'm saying? So the fact that Yakuza 7 is coming out, I would say that this is the best time. That being said, Yakuza 7, I mean, what if they fuck around and give us the main character for Yakuza 7? I think people would be pissed. Yeah? Yeah. Yeah. Well, I've been thinking about it and how, like, every guest character is basically, every guest character is a mixture of different other characters. Like, it seems like variations of different characters, like animations for some of their movesets, and maybe like, you know, or even like they might have some aspect of the playstyle. For example, you know, Miguel and Negan share, you know, stances. They don't share a stance, but their stances basically work the same and have the same mentality behind them. This motherfucker. Noctis has a few of Lars's moves. He has a few animations of Yoshi's. Doesn't necessarily have any of his moves, but you know, if you think of it, like, you take, say, Brian's back one, that looks very brawler Kiryu. Um, what else? You know, what else does Kiryu have? Just thinking off the top of my head. Well, actually, you know, honestly, what I really want to see is Majima, but hold that thought. You know, maybe use Brian as like a place, like sort of kind of template for Kiryu and work from there. I'm not sure how people would feel about another leader, but Brian sort of kind of has that same like unrefined yet refined brawler type of style, I'd argue. And and I'd argue also just the general play style and how, Kiryu's almost always at an advantage. He's not really sitting at a disadvantage at any point in time. You know what I'm saying? He's been in the game for so long, so he should be sort of kind of a neutral monster, like how Brian is. Brian, if you press the wrong button against Brian in neutral, you get fucking launched, and there ain't shit you can do about it. Other than, calm the fuck down. So, and I think that same like sort of kind of philosophy for design for Kiryu would work greatly. It would go over very well. Now they would have to keep it balanced, obviously. Like he shouldn't be better than Brian. Like there's in no way, shape, or form should he be better in any I mean, lately, but I'd argue season 1 to season 2, it wasn't as bad. So, and I'd argue Fakum Ram is a sign that they're trying to sort of kind of change the issue at this point. They recognize that there's an issue. Because he wasn't nearly as broken as Leroy was. He just had like a grab problem. And maybe, he had like hitbox problems, but he wasn't like completely and totally destroying the match as soon as you saw him come in. So, just by that aspect, I have faith. I definitely understand and have personally seen what you're saying as far as their DLC practices. I heard somebody said Tekken was dead today, and I'm like, yo, what? Or no, it's dying. Yeah? Worldwide release 3 years? Worldwide. Yeah. If we're talking when it came out on purchase, like arcades too, it's sitting on 6 or 7. But I would argue everybody who's asking for Tekken 8, be careful what you wish for, because the design philosophy is in a weird spot right now. Okay, they don't even have anything to work off of, because they were definitely, a lot of their design philosophy, where their buffs and nerfs were going and all that, was definitely dictated by a lot of tournament stuff. So they don't really have much to go off right now. You know what I'm saying? Because there's nothing going on. So as far as like balancing things, how do you balance something when you don't really even know? I mean, you can go off of what people are telling you, but shit, there are people saying that you should completely delete characters. So, I mean, I would hate to play the game, developer, creator, any of that. I think it would be really tough. Because it's one of those things where you really will never please everyone, and someone will always be asking. Like, you can look at any general game, people be like, oh, this community is toxic, this community... No, we're all pretty much the same. Like, we really are. Yeah. Yeah. My event just got canceled earlier this week. So, I definitely feel you on that one. I'm hurting. Oh, when people say they retire, though, I don't believe it. I really don't. Like, I mean, right now, anybody who's saying they're retired, I don't know. there's everybody's pretty much retired right now, you know. But I will say if he did, good luck to him. Um, yo, I wasn't ever really that big of a Speed Kicks fan, but he's good. He's good. He's definitely got some skill. Yeah. 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 I'm just so ready to start back up. I'm glad there's some shit with Smash. Well, not just Smash, but different FGC people getting exposed, starting to slow down. So hopefully it's over. Like everybody who needed to be exposed has been exposed, and we can try to heal now. Whew, Lordy, Lord. Um. Yeah, dude. Oh yeah. Yeah. Unfortunately. But as far as Tekken, dude, I'd love a Yakuza character. I'd like Majima. I want him to be like a capo, but not like Eddie, like Lucky Chloe. Um, and yeah, his own style. Yeah, that's the dancer style. Yep. No, you know what? I'd argue make the baseball bat because the thing with that is that if you represent all the styles, you're gonna end up with a character with a lot of stances. I feel like the reason why you don't see a lot of people play Wei Wulong is definitely because he has so much fucking shit going on in his moveset. Um, yeah. So I mean, nobody wants to fucking figure out all those moves and where you should, shouldn't, and all the frames and all. Nobody wants to do all that shit. So you might want to keep it simple. You might want to make Majima's bat like maybe like Leroy's stat, like make it a one-time extra rage mechanic. Because the thing is, while yes, you want these characters to be cool, you want them to have cool shit, simplicity, a simple game. If you notice, the tournaments, everyone, at least the last time we had them, simplicity was still pushing things. So if you want to see some of these guest characters actually getting represented in tournaments and all that, you want to keep them, you want to make them cool, and you want to make them simple. So I think their most successful game guest character at this point is probably not, to be real with you. People might agree with or disagree with me. People might laugh at me, but he has both of those two things, and that's all. That's the most important part. Negan, the fact that he's got to rely on that stance to have a reliable mix-up. It's once people realize what they should be doing is as a mix-up with him, that's going to turn people off, I think, because when you go into a stance to force a mix-up, you're at the very least telegraphing that you're going for a mix-up. So if I knew you were going for a mix-up, and I knew at the very worst I couldn't deal with it, like you know, it's always not in my favor, I'm gonna backdash and try to whiff punish. You know what I'm saying? And so, you know, I don't know, man. I've been thinking about a lot of that shit lately. But anyway, I really feel like Noctis is their most successful. For that reason, and he's just. I don't blame you. Yeah. I ain't gonna lie, the way the reveal is done and everything, like, it almost seems like a mistake, but it's very suspicious. You know what I'm saying? That's the only thing that's giving me pause right now, is like, it's like, yo, come on, man. I don't know. It just, it's too obvious, but I want it to be true. If we're getting a stage, you might as well throw a character in there. Since we've, Yeah, since we've been begging for it, even people who don't play Yakuza are like, yo, just give it to them already. These niggas have been around before the Kunimitsu people, before the Ana people, before people were saying this for a while, for real, for real. So, yo, just give it to him. Like, he's obviously wanted. Again, it's the timing. It's the time. It's the timing. You know, it's while he'd argued that the worst opportunity for Tekken timing wise is now, the best opportunity for Yakuza is now. You know what I'm saying? Because they have that game coming out, because they want. This game is already gonna do weird because it has the whole change in gameplay style and everything. So they're gonna wanna do add some factors in to sort of kind of boost you know, people at least looking at the game. Because there's a lot of people I know who are already like, yo, fuck this game, it's an RPG. And that's stupid. Like, you know what I'm saying? So. Yeah. 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 Oh shit. Yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely. You can go ahead though. It's fine. You just go ahead, because I'm going to play it. Yeah, I'm absolutely gonna play it regardless. Like I knew all about 5 before I opted into 5. So the real thing I don't like spoiled about Yakuza is the music. I don't play it, but for some reason I get really mad if I hear the music before the boss fight. But everything else I don't really care. Yeah. Yeah. Yep. Haruka. Yeah. 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 Um, Yo, this is gonna turn into gush about Yakuza Hour, but the thing about Yakuza and Tekken, the fact that these series haven't already touched is so amazing to me, because you can see the dude that made Yakuza is definitely a Tekken fan. Definitely a Tekken fan. The move sets for almost every character are in the fucking game. Um, like literally their move sets. Not even like it looks like them. No, it's their move set. And you know, I gotta say, the last year I've been just checking out games, and I've been really just thinking about game design and why they're doing this and what they want you to do here and all that. And the thing about Yakuza is that no matter what you can say about it, whatever you can say about the fans, whatever, there's love in every single game. You know what I'm saying? And that's not something you can say for every single AAA title, which is remarkable, because you would think that that would be the case. That wouldn't be the case, and that the AAA titles would have more polish, would be less, you know, would be more dense and all that. And I mean, it depends on what you're talking about, dense. I mean, let's be real. You're pretty much using a lot of assets and things are reused in Yakuza. But is that a bad thing? I'd argue no. I mean, cause like, yeah, you're still setting up. Yeah, I mean, you're still using them in unique, fresh ways. Every battle, like most of the time, it's the battle animations that are being reused, and every single battle is fucking amazing. Like the first fight of every Yakuza game is like, all right, this is hype, and like, you know, the music and just, I don't know, it's just, while people would, you would originally think to put this series to the side, because it's like, this series seems like it's just like a cash grab that a company would put out. At first look, it's so much more. The sheer depth in all the mini games and such is incredible. Yeah. Absolutely. Even the one I didn't like, I didn't personally like 3. It was a bit too slow for me, but the reason why it was slow was the kids, and some of those kids had some really, like, yeah, they really made you care about them. And so, I mean, for the sake of the story, like, I play games like Metal Gear, like, those are some of my favorite games ever, and they take you out of the action and will have you sitting there watching a fucking movie before you ever touch that controller again. So I can't sit here and really act like that's truly a minus that'll stop me from playing the game. This is not. That being said, yeah, Yakuza is definitely a gem of a series for sure. I believe so, yes.
Ah,
It's been a while since I finished 3. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, that was a big put off for a while. The fact that there's no English, like, anything. And it's weird, because it seems like they're starting to change their mind, because I also bought Judgment, and I played a little bit of it. Also a good game. And there's an English track to that. So it's like, when Yakuza 7 comes out, I wonder. Small speculation. We're putting our speculation caps on real quick. could we possibly be getting an English Kiryu, an English Majima again? Um, and would that, yeah, huh? Yeah.
Ashen One.
Right. Okay. I feel you.
Well,
Even if it's like OG English voice actors from the original
welcome home,
Yakuza.
speak. Very well, then take note.
You're so used to it at this point, huh? I feel you. I probably would too. Yeah.
Farewell, Ashen One.
Okay.
Ah.
Fair enough. Fair enough. So boy, oh boy, where did we leave off with The Last of Us? I believe we got through. Okay, so we talked. Okay, let me tell you real quick. I believe that there's also going to be a sequel. I'm not sure if we're going to continue on with Ellie. I'm really not sure. I don't know if I'd care, but I mean, yeah.
Ashen
Right.
One.
What was she like dead or yeah, she didn't there wasn't much. Mhm. Who Isaac? He's still alive? Yo, she got fucked up, bro. I felt so bad. I was like, "Oh my god." Yo, you know more about that. How bad is that compartment syndrome? What exactly happened? Yeah. Oh, like lactic acid and all that? Okay. Yeah, because lactic acid, I remember reading that if you're like, because your body builds lactic acid when you work your muscles, and I heard that if it gets anywhere other than your muscles, it'll actually kill you. Is that true? Yeah. The skin dies? Oh, damn. Yeah. 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 Mhm. Yeah. I'd imagine in any like weird outbreak type situation, just the way we handled Corona, yo, we'd probably lose a good 80% of our population off jump. Like, yeah, yeah. You don't even worry about it. Yeah, yeah, yeah. The children and people these days is really being exposed, and it's these days you really need someone. You really need that person. What you need, I think these days, what you really need is just people just be like, listen, man, that's not right, and you do what you want to do, but just know that shit's fucked up and just move on. Because these days, because what you get when you get two people who are confrontational these days is that confrontation is going to go down. So I feel like you just need someone to set it straight and then get the fuck up out of there. Because I don't know, man. It's just lately that voice hasn't been there. That voice hasn't been there, and it's almost disturbing. That's the most disturbing part. Um, is that there's no guidance. Um, yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, not enough people. What I'm getting from this is not enough people have never been like given enough like fucking structure in their life. Because as far as the throwing the temper tantrum because you can't have your way with a store. I mean, I don't know, man. When I was a kid, I used to fuck around in the store and get kicked out, and it was what it was. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. I learned these lessons early. I really wonder like where some of these people like how they came up sometimes, because and it's not even one particular side that I'm talking about. It's again, you don't want to get political. I don't want to either. But it's yeah, I'm in the box looking around. I'm in the bubble and I'm looking around. It's not I'm not looking at one side. I'm not looking at the other. I'm looking around. I'm in the middle of this motherfucker looking around like what the fuck? Like yo, for like the last maybe month or two, I've just been on my phone less. If somebody hits me up, I'll get at you when I get at you, cause I really, I them jokes that I make about like Twitter and shit, how like yo, you put on your hazmat suit, you go on Twitter, you get your memes, and then you get the fuck up out of there. I'm not playing, bro. I'm not playing with you because you'll literally like you'll just be like, bro, Twitter is going to start a war, and like you'll be completely and totally justified in that belief because it's just, ugh. Anyway, yeah, man. So I just be staying my ass with me and my girl. We be chatting about stuff. I watch my news. I watch Philly D every once in a while because I like him. I like how he called me a beautiful bastard. I like that. It make me feel good. And you know, oh my God, this one knight in the middle of Lothric Castle that sits at the throne first, he hits harder than everyone else. He can two shot you real quick. But yeah, man, and I do what it does, man, because lately the conversation, I enjoy the conversation. I don't enjoy when the conversation starts to leak into my everyday life. Like I'm trying to buy some fucking bread and somebody's like, hey man, yo man, it's like they're everywhere, man. It's like they want me to wear a mask everywhere. It's like, bro, like I don't know, man. Even if I agree with you, man, I just at the end of the day, the type of person I am, I just keep my head down and I just do what the fuck I gotta do. Like, you know what I'm saying? You know, like I'm not out here trying to fucking start an uprising, none of that shit. I get it. I get why people are upset. I get why people are afraid. I get it. I'm just trying to buy some fucking bread and go home. That's where I've been at lately. Like, you know, and I think that's where a lot of people are at. Is they just want to buy their fucking bread and go home. So. And maybe play some Tekken later, like, you know. But yeah, I mean, I'm not, you know, like I said, man. Yeah. Here he comes. Yeah. That group is dope. Feel better. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I've talked to Ariel about this a lot. I feel like the community aspect of a lot of things is starting to sort of kind of disappear. Like people are saying, you know, why the fuck do we need a community? Like, fuck people, and that's not necessarily the best mindset to have. Or teach your children. And it's more and more common lately, and it's like I said, man. It's the signs of the times are just kind of. It's all just too stressful for me, man. It's all fucky. All of it is fucky, yo. And and I mean, like take for example, I would be in Florida right now. You know that, right? And like we all understand why we're not in Florida right now. But like, yo, my parents, they're fucking pissed actually because they bought those annual passes, and Universal, they're talking about, well, we'll give you 3 extra months, and those 3 extra months were up, like I think earlier at the beginning of this month or some shit, and they still haven't gone. And they're like, nah, you're gonna give us a fucking refund or something. We need to talk about this. So I'm like, I'm so glad I did not buy those annual pass. Some told me, I'm like, yo, to pay, I think at the time the annual pass was like 400 or 500 a head. And I was like, you know, we only come once a year. We only come once a year. Like, I mean, I get it. At the door, ticket prices are high, and the deals don't really help unless you're like a Florida resident. But I don't know, man. So me and Julie, we opted out. And so glad I did. Best pre. Yeah. Yeah. Yo, this was gonna be a fucking hot ass year, man. And the crazy thing is that we're all getting crazy good at Tekken 2. That's why I really don't want this game to die. I mean, I feel like our community is pretty strong, that we'll probably find something we can play together anyway. But like, I really don't want, like, Tekken. Somebody was talking about it the other day. I don't remember who, but they were like, "Yo, the reason why Tekken's so hot right now is because Street Fighter had that lull when it first came out." And like, it just sort of kind of capitalized. It just happened. You know what I'm saying? Tekken was popping for a while. And I'm like, I'm so glad that happened. You know what I'm saying? Because otherwise, I really wouldn't have met you guys. I would have probably never gotten as good at Tekken as I did. Because, you know, I played shit compared to how I play now. You know, so, you know, I'm definitely very thankful for that community. And like I said, I really don't want to see this shit. I want, if Tekken 7, let me put it like this: if Tekken 7 gets a season 6 or 7, I ain't tripping. Whatever. Hey. Yeah. Oh no, I definitely want to know some more stuff is cooking in the kitchen. Like, yo, I know we used to see games like, I know we used to see companies like develop 2 games at once. I know we used to see that way more. Like, I get it, development costs are kind of crazy nowadays, but I'd really like to start seeing that again. Like, you know, I feel like some companies really can do it. Fighting games especially. Like, once you have the games out, I don't know, I feel like supporting the development teams isn't as much of a financial, what's the word I'm looking for? Commitment as necessarily as putting the game out would be. So, what I'm basically getting to is, I'd like to see Tekken X Street Fighter, to be honest with you. I thought that idea was so dope. A lot of people say, well, they think of Akuma and they're like, well, I don't know. The way Tekken has implemented Street Fighter mechanics and all that hasn't been the best. But I don't know, man. I think they're on to something good. I think their philosophy towards improvement as a company, Namco and, you know, Harada's team and Murray's team and all them, while it has gotten kind of fucky in the last year and a half, I still have faith in it. I think I kind of see the vision of what they're trying to do. It does sometimes feel pay to win, but I don't necessarily think that's fully their intention. I think that they're legitimately just trying to create a crowd. Maybe not in the best ways sometimes. And capitalizing off hype. And like I said, man, I'm just really hopeful. Like I said, Tekken X Street Fighter, yo, every time people start talking about that shit, bro, my tail starts wagging. I feel like I get so hype. Because I've wanted to see that bad boy for a while.
Home, I shall speak that. Very well, then take Nari.
Okay. You know, you are definitely not the only person I've heard say that. And while I'd say the sentiment is slowly changing for some people are starting to give Street Fighter V a bit of a second chance. A lot of people still have that bad taste in their mouth. So let me ask you, I mean, what is it to you that Street Fighter V?
Just good, this wasn't.
They released it as a console exclusive? That's never a good idea. You're absolutely right about that shit. I hate that. Hey, hey, Rafi. Let me ask you. Let me throw a quick theory at you. Let me ask you if it sounds, because this is something that just crossed my mind. Do you think, because the argument from game developers nowadays, the reason why we need microtransactions and everything, they pay the bills, right? Do you think the reason that they needed exclusivity deals, like for example, Microsoft with Halo, Dead or Alive ended up going to Xbox at some point during the 360's lifespan? I want to say things of that nature. You get what I'm saying? Do you think that that was their way to pay the bills then, and the reason why we see exclusivity sort of kind of going away now is because of microtransactions? Do you think that argument could be made? Think that's a great, but you think that might be a thing? I'm gonna ask Ariel too. I wanna ask all you guys. Okay. Yeah. 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 So you so wait. Let me just can I stop you real quick? So what you're saying about like exclusivity may start going to maybe having certain utilities as a development tool, like for example Unreal Engine. That would be fucking crazy. That would be a crazy move. Okay. Yeah. Really? Ooh. Think so? You know what everybody's gonna do? You know what everybody's gonna do? Everybody's gonna say, fuck it, I'm going to PC. I guarantee it. You're right. Hmm. Thank you. Yeah. Yeah. One thing, one thing I will give Sony, they do their like press releases for their consoles so much better because if you remember, one had a similar problem where like it wasn't that they weren't showing like anything good or anything. I think it was like they had a problem where the Xbox One had to be connected to the internet primarily, and that did not go over well. They do not have a good history with like first showing. They really don't. Nah, but I do remember they were getting them that whole console gen. They're shitting on them because if I remember correct, Microsoft, yeah, they were the ones that started we can't the technology isn't there right now to do the things that people are asking for, something like that, or the money isn't there. They're the ones that started that shit. Yeah. Yeah? Yeah, me too, actually. But buy the collector's edition for that. Shit. Yo, I've been wanting to buy a good collector's edition lately. I've been, like, I missed out. Just a quick side note, I missed out on Final Fantasy VII, the collector's edition. That's excuse me, it had some really nice stuff in it. So I've been really itching. I've been like, I gotta pick it up. Oh yeah. Yep, I was having this conversation yesterday with somebody. I went into a whole tangent about I'm done cutting companies slack anymore, especially fucking Square Enix. Like, as soon as I start hearing that bullshit, you already know. You're gonna hear me. You're gonna hear an alarm going off. You're gonna see my head. You're gonna see hot air leaving my ears and shit, all that. Cause I'm not taking none of that bullshit. Y'all have been doing this shit, talking about we can't do it. What? So, I don't know, man. Yeah. Yeah. I will say, the graphics, definitely. I definitely feel you on that. It seems like they wanted to, they saved the graphics, the good, like, it seems like everything went into character models and, like, backgrounds and everything. They created some set pieces, but then, like, when you went into the levels, it was like whatever. Like, I remember when you first got on top of the wall and then you look over on Midgar, like, that's a good like, you know, scene. um but then right after you go down into the basement of Shinra building, and it's just it looks like a generic ass like basement. Like, come on, this is Shinra building. Some of those building rooms in the building look like shit, you know. So I definitely feel what you're saying. Yeah. I mean, I'd argue that you may have felt it was a little bit better if you got that turn-based combat, yo. But then again, you know, I've thought about it. Let me ask you a question. Have you played an old school RPG? This was out on PS1. It was a Sony game called Legends of Dragoon. Okay. You remember how they mixed up the formula, how they had you doing additions, and you could transform and all that? Like, I don't know, man. I feel like there's still a place for turn-based combat. Games like Persona and Dragon Quest XI kind of sort of already prove that there is definitely an audience and a place for that. But you definitely have to mix up the combat. I feel like you're not going to get away with shit that Dragon Quest XI and Persona do if you're not a main, you know, a known franchise. So if you want to put out an RPG and you want to make it known and you want it to be turn-based, all you gotta do is mix it up, but don't make it too fucking complicated. Being real with you, some of these newer RPGs I've been playing, while they have cool stories and they have legacies and all that and fans that love them, I'm an old school RPG fan. The reason why I can't, like, I for my birthday I bought myself Xenoblade Chronicles, just because at the time I was very interested in Xenogears, and it was the same people, and it's pretty much it's a Soul successor. Now, Xenogears was turn-based combat. From time to time, you could hop into a mech. Shit. You could hop into a mech, and there was a few things you would do, but for better or for worse, it was a turn-based RPG, right? Now, 99 with every character in Xenoblade Chronicles 2. Okay, I break games very easily like that. I didn't finish Xenoblade Chronicles 2 because I couldn't get into the battle system. Now, you can't even tell me I didn't spend enough time with the battle system. My timer when I stopped playing was at like 99 or something. And again, I grinded to level 99. But it's like it's a weird mix of MMORPG and it wants to be an action game, but then it also has like turn-based aspects to it, and I don't know, I just couldn't get into it, and I've done it all, bro. Like every single Final Fantasy, to a certain point, has like a different battle system and shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, again, we both played Legend of Dragoon. That thing, it throws it at you. Super Mario RPG, I'm familiar with. You know, I've experienced different flavors. This just wasn't it, yo. And I sit back and I wonder why, and I feel like there were either too many cooks in the kitchen, or they were trying to go for something. They were trying to create this convoluted system that was unlike any other, and all they really did was confuse everyone. Like, if you look up Xenoblade Chronicles 2, there's people to this day asking, how do you play that shit? Right. Yeah. Yeah. I always respect when people do that shit. It's some of my favorite animes, some of my favorite shows, animes, everything. They have stories and everything they told upsetting subjects and everything that people today, like, a lot of shit that I like to watch and that I think are classics, wouldn't, by virtue of how people are today, would never ever be shown to a public audience. Like, people would be like, cancel this shit immediately, because it really actually does. Like, one of my favorite quotes about storytelling is it's from George R. R. Martin. Basically what he's saying is that the only thing worth writing about is, you know, the human heart in conflict with itself. You know what I'm saying? And it's true. You know, I mean, why the fuck am I gonna sit here and write about, you know, how two animals having an interaction hunting for the day, you know, if I'm not trying to say something about, you know, society? I don't know. I just feel like, you know, some stories really, every story, god damn it, every story is trying to say something, like, and it almost always, okay, alright, yeah, because I feel like I was starting to, yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah. I mean, my thing with Final Fantasy VII was that I just feel deceived because, again, I was told that this was made into segments because there was no other way to put this out satisfyingly, and I absolutely disagree. I still, having played through the game, I absolutely disagree. I feel like first of all, it's no secret that Square will sit here and take fucking almost 20 years to put a fucking game out. They're not scared to do that. They have a fan base that will sit around and wait for it, so they'll do it. They've done it before. They'll do it again. So if it's lucrative for them, best believe they'll do it. You know. So for them to sit there and be like, oh, I believe the original, it was something like, oh, if we were to put out Final Fantasy Remake, the experience that we would want to put out, um, it would either be really long or something like that. And it's like, even if you go back to the whatchamacallit, it's like, yo, y'all made this, right? And they're like, yeah. And I'm like, alright, y'all made this years ago, right? And it's like, yeah. And it's like, okay, and by virtue of being a company focused on improvement, you can do this again, but better, right? It's like, I don't know. I'm not, even if, I don't know. I would take, if you want to retell that back, all people were asking for, as far as I know, is to tell the same story again. Throw in some modern day like gameplay enhancements. You know what I'm saying? Riding a motorcycle, there should be weight to it. Shit like that. You know, it's not even necessarily overhaul the whole fucking game. And you know, whatever. I will say, they've done some wonderful things with that game. Like, the music is great. I personally, while I don't think it needed to be changed, the battle system is a nice upgrade from Crisis Core. I don't know if you played that. It feels a lot like an upgrade of that. There still definitely are trying to figure out the whole single player RPG action edge of it, and the reason I say that is because, like, certain things are still a win button. Um, so, and as they were sort of kind of when they were still focused on making turn-based RPGs. For example, you get off a summon in certain fights in Final Fantasy VII, and it is absolutely over. Just by virtue of you having this unbeatable partner for a set amount of time, doing elemental damage, you know, non-stop, while you're still moving around. And then I can't remember if they let you keep your party or not, but I'm pretty sure they're moving around and shit. I mean, like, you know, even the hardest fights in that game, if you wait until they come out, you know, and then you pull your summon out, it kind of becomes, you know, you go into the loop, you rinse, repeat, and you're gonna win. But you didn't like the summon system? So, I'll tell you why I think they're starting to do that. So, did you play 13? Did you play 13? You wanted to see more. You wanted to see more earlier on. Like, you wanted... I feel like you wanted... Well, your problem is you wanted to get to Calm and see Sephiroth, the flashback or something real quick. I think that's what you wanted. Like, you wanted a little more. Am I on? You wanted to get to the Golden Saucer? I had... Yeah. Just don't, yeah. I mean, again, like, if I'm waiting to show my girl the original, and just to show her, like, where that game ends off, and then where the rest of the game is, and, like, I want to ask her if she thinks that it could have been a full game or not, because it's just like, it's... again, I feel your frustration. Like, um, when they said that they were going to do this, I immediately thought this is a cash grab. This is taking a $60 game and turning it into a $100 to $240 game. You know what I'm saying? Um, yeah, yeah. Yeah. And it's funny because like the last maybe 10 years, they've really been trying out this segmentation model with different games. I don't know if you're a Final Fantasy IV fan, but Final Fantasy IV got a sequel. It was Final Fantasy IV: The After Years, and I remember being particularly upset because when the After Years came out, it was released in parts. So it was a cell phone game actually, which also pissed me off because they were really leaning into at the time. They did that with a Final Fantasy VII game, like it was a compilation of that where you played as the Turks. That was a cell phone game and it only came out in Japan. To this day, there's oh shit. To this day, they're still doing translations to that. Like I think it's gonna be a while till we get that. Fuck, here he comes. It's gonna be a while till we get that game. Just by virtue of it's kind of lost the time. Square has moved on to bigger and better things, and moved on to bigger and better things. And the compilation of Final Fantasy VII series has this mixed opinion on it. Like I don't even know if you remember Dirge of Cerberus for the PS2 where you play as Vincent, but that was like a shooter. Sid. The air pilot, yes. Yes, yes. Shit, you might get... Huh. Where is Sid? Where is... You'll get Vincent. I don't know if you'll be able to use him. But I don't know if you'll even get Sid. To be honest with you, the way they're trying to play that game, I don't know. Yeah. Brother, why the fuck would they even put him there? He had the whole moveset. It wasn't like some of it was scripted. Some of it was scripted, but some of it he was really scrapping. He had real moves and everything. So like if you had the time to do all that, why not just make him playable? And then just make him I think it was because it would have introduced a problem after you beat the game where if you're in certain parts of Midgar, you got him. But at that point, why not just, like, Square Enix has always had this weird thing with sequence breaking in their games. So, I mean, but at that point, I argue, like, who fucking cares? Like, you beat the game, so, I don't know, man. I don't know. That's crazy. Huh. With a downer ending. Yep. You don't think so? Seeing what's they almost took Barrett. So okay. I can't remember who I watched, but he was, what this individual was getting at. Because, you know, there's been time for theories to come out, people to say what they think is going to happen. I think it was Maximilian, dude. I think it was him. He was on, like, a podcast talking about what he thinks is going to happen. First of all, let me tell you what I think is going on. It's obvious that, like, the ghosts are, like, a meta-commentary on, first of all, the audience. Yeah, that is definitely they're talking about us right there. That those ghosts are definitely some Final Fantasy VII fans. Like, yo, no, you talk to Aerith right now. You know what I'm saying? With that being said, there was this whole thing where they acted like the influence of the ghost is gone from the timeline and everything now, and at the end you saw, like, Zack survive in an alternate timeline and all that shit. What I think we're seeing, right? What I think we're gonna see, everything will play out in this game, but we're gonna see another timeline being created where everything plays out perfectly. Is what we're gonna get. We're gonna get a broken timeline where everything eventually ends up okay, but everything pretty much goes how we believe it's gonna go, and then we're going to see a timeline being created where everything's better, and one of those is going to probably lead into a Dissidia reboot. I'm telling you right now. Nah, Sephiroth kind of is Evil Cloud if you think about it. If you're talking about, like, another Cloud being, like, you know, having his move set and being like, yo, I'm gonna fuck you up and then kill Aerith or something like that, there is something that can happen like that. If you remember, right before Aerith dies, there's this part where he's about to kill her and he's, like, fighting with himself. So if there is, like, a mental part, because a lot of Final Fantasy VII, like, there's definitely parts where you can be like, okay, this is Cloud's mental space and he needs to do this. Like, there could be a Cloud's mind dungeon where he needs to, you know, fix himself, and then he fails and Tifa comes in and helps, and he's able to sort of kind of fix himself, and that's how you get him back, you know, after he leaves the party. You know, I mean, if we're trying to add content and sort of kind of, you know, um, what's the word, like, fatten up the game, you know, add more there without it necessarily being new stuff, but being a new dungeon, you know, there's something right there. But I mean, we're not even there yet, is the thing. I mean, who's even dead at this point? Because, I mean, there's so many people still alive in this timeline itself. I mean, Biggs, Wedge, Jesse, at least two of them are still alive. I think Jesse's the only one that died. I think that you see him at the end, he just has a broken arm. It's been so long, yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah, I think they show him at the end. I'm not hyped knowing that we'll have to wait. Yeah. I just need, yeah. Okay, no doubt. Let me ask you a question. You mentioned Demon Souls. Yep. You mentioned Demon Souls. My buddy, actually, he asked me an interesting question. Now, I'm really new to, like, FromSoft games. I'm really new to them, so I didn't really have a good answer for him, I feel like. But you've played Dark Souls, and you've dabbled in Bloodborne and all that, right? And you played Demon Souls, right? So, okay. Do you feel like Dark Souls 3 is the end of the Dark Souls, like, line, or do you think there's going to be another game? No, you got a YouTube dive. You've got a YouTube dive for sure. The Lord of Cinder changes. Well, I mean, okay. So the way this game ends, it's implied. Every single game, it's implied that the Dark Age is going to come regardless of what you do. So even if you keep that flame going, it's just implied that you're just buying more time. But you didn't stop the Dark Age from coming. Now, regardless of whatever choice you choose to make, and the third one, from what I understand, the Dark Age pretty much begins at the end. Now, is when you say Dark Age, is it necessarily a bad thing? No, it's just the end of the God's rule. I don't know if you look around, like right now, every single game when you're playing is during the Age of Fire, right? Basically, but the Age of Fire is starting to come to an end. Everything's fucking horrible. Like people are dying and shit. Things are bad. So, is it necessarily a bad thing that the Age of Fire is coming to an end? I mean, you know, these humans, human is such a weird term because these guys are zombies that have crests that make them come back to life, but turn into jerky slowly. I don't know. It's like I said, like you said, it's very loose. Um, it seems like this Age of Fire needs to end. And if that's the case, then these Lords of Cinder, they probably should just be around. If that's the case, if they're the reason why these flames are start to go out, because again, like the rule of the gods, like, people are getting fucked up, bro. Like every area you walk into, there just be bodies everywhere. Son. It's not even like there's not one happy thing happening. And I haven't had one NPC. I haven't had one NPC have a happy ending yet. Like I've had to kill one who joined the wrong covenant. One was helping me level up, and then like this nigga just died. He just died. Like I don't know what. Yeah, he just, and then I turned into beef jerky, and then I had to do some research online, and I was like, okay, I understand why. But uh, like you're right. And then Bloodborne, yo, I was trying to get people to explain to me what the fuck was going on in that goddamn game. Yo, I was saying this the other day to my friends. Yeah. Yeah. All I've got is like aliens there. That's it. That's it. Yeah. I ended up getting those shit. Yo, I guess she's tied to one of the endings. The ending, well, you can still get the ending without her, but it's interesting. Like, again, it's really interesting stuff. People were saying, oh, the twist of Bloodborne will have you up for days. And it's like, no, it's just like, yo, some fucked up shit happened. These people are all fucked. There's no saving this town. It's fucked. Don't even worry about it. You might as well go home. You're right. The dream aspect of the thing, like, I still can't explain that. I don't really get that part of it, but I guess that's a lot of Lovecraft anyway. Is like he talks about things being a dream and all that. You know what? You know, can I just criticize H.P. Lovecraft real quick? The whole concept of what's up? Really? Oh, okay. I heard he was. I haven't really. I've just dabbled with some. Like I checked out. I've checked out a few of his stories, and he's. I mean, he seems to be an alright writer. He definitely. Some of the rhetoric he chooses to use, like you can definitely see. Yeah, he's probably got. He probably said a few words. Yeah, Shug boy. Yeah. Yeah. Nah. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, you can definitely separate the art from the creator. Absolutely. Listen, man, there's a few anime creators that have done some fucked up things or have been found with some fucked up things. And, you know, I mean, hey, they made some good shit, but I can't fuck with them, and thankfully I'll never have to encounter them. But they made some good shit, you know what I'm saying? So it is what it is. At this point, they ain't even getting any money from me if I choose to give any money. Like it all goes to the company. So I definitely feel what you're saying. Like you separate the art from the creator. Um, yeah, yeah. Yeah, I really like that whole idea too. I really like the whole fear of the unknown, like aspect of like Lovecraft horror. It really intrigues me because it's like things that you can't comprehend. But at the same time, the criticism I had is like there's certain things. It's just like I feel like I don't know. Maybe it's just I can't wrap my head around like, and that's the thing. That's what it actually is. It's like there's certain things in H.P. Lovecraft horror that you can't wrap your head around, and so people's heads start blowing up. And that to me, I'm like, what? But like how? Like how? Yeah, I'm trying to apply logic to it. Yeah. Oh, the little mind flayer thingies that'll eat your inside up. Yeah, those guys are fucked up. Those guys made me rage quit for a few hours for a bit because I thought you had to always have one insight to level up, and there was a point where they took all my shit. So I was like, yo, can I just not level up anymore? And it was right during a boss fight that I couldn't beat, so I was so upset. All right, my man. Hell yeah. I'm heading back to work, but I should be home during the days. You know, just get me in the chat, ping me, let me know when you're on, and we can definitely, damn it, we can definitely set something up, yo. Absolutely, man. Thanks for coming to talk to me about The Last of Us, yo. Yeah, I'm probably gonna catch them too, and I might do this. Yeah, I might do this again. I don't know. I might do something where I get us all together because I think they've also played 7 remake. Since I got that sort of kind of spiked off into that, maybe I'll do some of that too, and we can all forum on that too. I think that'll be a good thing to do. Okay. Yeah. All All right. Listen, before you get out of here, go ahead and plug yourself in for everybody listening. Alright. Sounds good, man. I'm alright, man. I'm gonna talk to you later, yo. Thanks again. Alright, bro. Bye. Alright, y'all. Hold on. Cause I can't talk and fight this nigga at the same time, cause I don't know if y'all seen, he beat me like 4 or 5 times. This guy's mean. He hits harder than every other knight here. So you gotta be ready to roll out. Roll out, nah, bitch. Fuck out of here. So thank you guys for tuning in. Those were some of our scattered thoughts on The Last of Us. We definitely digressed a bit, jumped around. I'll try to watch this back. Whew, we've been streaming for 3 hours. I'll try to watch this back and throw some time stamps in so that we can, if people want to get to a certain part of the conversation, they can just jump right to it. But thank you guys again for tuning in. I am MDX, and I'll see you guys next time.